Hey new Tekken players, as always I hope you're all doing well. Today's quick guide is aimed at those who like to play King and how to do a reliable rolling death cradle on a PS4 pad. From here on in I'm just going to refer to it as RDC. If you're not a King player, stay tuned because I'll also reveal how to break this grab, which will hopefully stop some scumbag King main from killing you this way. This move needs to be accessed from King's crouch dash, so if you're not sure what that means, please go and watch my King newbie crouch dash guide, which explains everything on King's crouch dash. Link will be on the screen and in the video description. Before I go on, just another quick thank you for all those new subscribers. At the time of recording, we've just hit over 500, and so we're closing in on the magic number of 1000. When I told my 7-year-old that I had 500 subscribers on YouTube, he was very excited and it put a big smile on his face, so a big thank you from him as well. Be sure to sub if you want to see Tekken guides not only for King, but all sorts of different characters and different techniques for new and upcoming Tekken players. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's look at how to do an RDC consistently on a pad. So, I'm assuming since you're watching this video you already know what an RDC is, but in case you're unaware, this is King's most damaging throw at 110 points of damage. RDC is the third chain throw of the following sequence: Arm Breaker, Chicken Wing Face Lock, Rolling Death Cradle. Now here's the important bit. Unlike a lot of King's chain throws, every single step has to be inputted manually. No cheats, no mashing your key charge button, you have to input this manually and accurately. There is however a sneaky way of making this input on a pad much easier, so stay tuned and I'll show you how. To show you that this works, here's me landing the move 3 times back to back with no edits, just a dummy reset. Those of you who have seen my guides will know I like to explain the why and not just the how of learning something. With RDC, there's 3 important reasons. 1. Massive damage. You can get well over half-life plus Godoki options, so why the hell wouldn't you learn this? 2. If you're playing against either a character you really hate or a player who is constantly taunting or key charging and you really don't want to play them again, land this move once on them and I guarantee they will not stick around for a rematch. 3. If you're a streamer and one of your viewers is either dying or in the afterlife and only an RDC can save them, you need to be able to hit this reliably.
I was diagnosed with ligma today and my doctor said the only cure is a non-stream RDC. Please Brawl, I beg you. Save me.
I'm trying to save him. I can't even do the grab. He's doing leg breaker. I tried, man. I'm sorry, bro. Rest in peace, my friend.
I'm dead now and in front of the gates of heaven at the moment. God says I can come in only if BrawlPro RDC's on stream.
Please, just do it. I want him to live in heaven. I can't do this. I don't know why it won't come out, bro. There's too much pressure.
Hey BP. I'm sending you this from hell. Satan says he'll remove the pineapple from my behind if you RDC on stream. Please,
bro, stop milking the contest. I can't do it, man. Look at this. They're not having it. The pineapple from my behind.
Okay, so now let's look at the how. Now normally with Tekken guides we refer to the buttons as 1 to 4, but because today we're looking specifically at pad players, I'm going to use PlayStation notations in the form of cross, square, triangle, circle, and L1, L2, R1 and R2. Okay, so if you want to use my methods, or you're following along with this, the first thing you need to do is set up the correct keybinds, which are now on the screen, so feel free to pause if you wish to copy them. But in short, L1 is set to cross and square, L2 is set to cross and circle, R1 is set to triangle and circle, and R2 is set to square and triangle. Okay, now we've got the pad set up properly, let's look at how we land this move. So as I mentioned, you will have to be able to land a crouch dash to land this. So the crouch dash is forward, neutral, quarter circle forward. So crouch dash, then square and circle together to land the arm breaker. Okay, so this is where we make the use of our button binds and also one crucial mechanic in Tekken, which is to use buffering. What we mean by this is if you continue to hold down a button in Tekken, then press another button, the game will record this as two separate inputs. Just to show you what I mean, let's look at a quick example. This elbow to headbutt string that King can do. This is back triangle, then triangle plus square. You can do this exactly how you see it, or you press back triangle, then while holding down the triangle, you press the square button, and you'll see the game records this as a new input. So we're going to exploit this mechanic to make our RDC inputs much easier to do. So after we've got the arm break, we need to do the following command. Now the way I do this is to press triangle, release, then press and hold R2, which records the square input, then keep holding down R2 and press X. This method I find much easier than trying to hit triangle then square as separate inputs. I find this also quite straightforward because it kind of feels like my fingers are just going down the pad. Okay, and now the final command that looks like this. So the way I do this is to press L1, release, L2, release, R1, release, then R2, then keep holding down R2 and press cross, and you should get the command. Again, I just find this quite intuitive with the way I've got it set up, as it feels like you're almost doing a circle on the trigger buttons. But the important thing is you make sure you don't rush it so your inputs are clean. Also, make sure you don't start pressing it until after the chicken wing lock has landed. So here's an attempt for me to show you this while filming my hands on the pad. Ironically, having practiced this a lot, I find the hardest part of the throw is actually getting a clean crouch dash in the first place, as I feel like I often rush it, so don't be like me, make sure you do this as clean as possible and then use the button binds I've suggested. So for those of you who don't main King, this is how you break the throw. If King grabs you with this arm break, mash 2 or triangle button like your life depended on it, and then you should break the RDC. So one last thing to mention, while I was making this video I was deliberately trying to land an RDC on as many opponents as possible to get some good footage, and the thing I discovered in these lower ranks in particular is that a lot of the time players will just keep mashing in your face. They just want to keep pressing buttons because generally speaking in these lower ranks everyone tends to be hyper aggressive. So landing the throw is not quite as straightforward. You kind of need to condition your opponent to stay still and stop pressing buttons, and if you're new to the game you'll find that that's actually quite a hard skill in itself, which I may make another video on in the future. Anyway, let me know this has helped you, and feel free to drop a like and let me know in the comments if there's any other guides or hacks you'd like to see. Thanks guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.